All right, just wanted to do a quick riding review of the Core 1. No script, no preparation, just figured I'd share my thoughts along the ride. So now, hitting up a trail here in North Las Vegas called Jenny from the Block. Cool little way to get up there, just this chill, mild pedal, basically a fire road all the way to the top. And then you got some flow on the way back. Hoping to get a couple recording time on the way down, but let's get into it. Had a question on the last video about the bike, more specifically the suspension and how it feels. Now, being that the Core 1 is the basic spec from YT, I will say there's a lot of value in what they built the bike with, but of course with the strategy to get the price down, you do have to spec lower components, right? So I guess we could start from the front. The RockShox Domain, pretty basic air fork. Was it a 38 mil stanchions though, so pretty beefy. You have rebound adjustment, but no compression, right? I will say though, on any of my bikes that do have a compression adjustment, it's always open. So for me, it doesn't affect me at all. On the bigger hits, obviously you have tokens if you really need them, but I've taken some decent drops on the last ride and didn't come anywhere near bottoming out running 30% sag. So hopefully that answers that question a little bit. But yeah, totally a smooth fork. I guess we can work on down to the brakes. So interestingly enough, YT opted to go for the SRAM's new mineral line of brakes, the SRAM DB8s. Now, the DB8s, of course, running mineral oil. I was a little bit curious about how they would work out. But I would say they have modulation a little bit closer to something that you'd find on a Shimano brake set, and as opposed to like Code R's that I have on one of my other bikes, more modulation, but nothing to be concerned about. Like, I feel like, you know, right there, you know, you can get the tire locked up if you're not careful just as easy as any brake, right? And then, you know, they can always upgrade your rotor to a 220 if you see so fit. Like some of the, I believe the Turbo Levos come with a 220 on the front. So there's that option as well if you feel like you really need more brake performance and you don't want to shell out for totally new brakes. Working our way up to the cockpit now. We have E13 bars, I think. I believe they're 800 mil wide. And then, of course, comes with a series or a set of lock-ons, but I just prefer a little bit larger of a grip for the hands, a little less fatigue for me. So the P&W XL grips do the trick. Guess we can work our way over to the controller here. Right now I've been pedaling in trail mode, so pretty okay amount of assistance. I'm sure you hear my heart rate's a little bit up. You're still working while you're pedaling on this bike, unless of course you go into turbo mode, and then, well, there you go, we're flying, right? So drop it down into the trail mode. Now eco, of course, you're doing a long epic ride. What's interesting about eco mode is it's a little bit more pedal pressure sensitive, right? So if I want to knock out this punchy climb and I add a lot of force to the pedals, it'll actually start to give me more assistance. But the resting state of just like a rhythmic cadence, so to speak, it gives you less boost, right? So you're definitely going to get a better workout that way. Now, we don't have to talk about turning it off all the way, because let's be honest, it's a 58-pound mountain bike, right? So yeah, I guess we'll drop down to the dropper post, the old YT Postman version 2. Now on I have a Jeffsy at home, I think it's a 22 model, the Core 2, and I had some issues with the Postman early on, but YT ended up warranting that and it wasn't an issue. But hopefully this version 2 variant is a little bit better suited for a longer life between services and not having to mess with it, right? So time will tell on that one. So far I'm happy with it. I think it's something crazy like 230 millimeters, right? Cool. Moving on. Oh, this is a little intersection of the trail we're gonna hit on the way back. Moving on to the shifter. Shimano Dior. I don't notice anything wrong with it. I've never been one to go crazy about shifters and how they feel. If I can get in that gear, I'm happy. And of course you can get in there quick. It's got, I'm used to tram shifters, so it's nice having the option to click with your trigger finger or your thumb to go down a gear, right? So that's just about it. Okay, we're working our way down the bike, trying to stay organized here for you. Cool, carbon, half aluminum. So this main tube portion right here, carbon, with the battery being placed on the down tube. Interesting thing about that is no real carbon's exposed from your front tire because that battery takes up the entire bottom side. And there's also a little bit of a skid plate surrounding the motor. So it's very streamlined, very sleek looking in my opinion. 2 bolts to take out the battery and you're chilling. No big deals there. Okay, working down the bike again. We're gonna talk about the coil. First coil I've ever owned. First impressions, super smooth. Like the amount of, what is it called, stiction that you normally face on an air shock. Let's say not freshly serviced, but after a little bit of time, you know, it takes a little bit of pressure to overcome that seal. Whereas on a coil, you can't see in the video, but it's immediate. Like you hit a little something and it's going to town for you. So really enjoy the coil. Excited to see how it is. I am on the top end of the weight rating for the coil on an extra large frame. So it came with the 450 pounder. So I'm right at that 30% sag, which I checked on the YT configurator and they did recommend to be anywhere between 30-33% for my weight. So either lose some weight or get another spring. Hopefully keep riding and lose that weight. You know how it is. And then let's see here. Oh, we got a little trail companion. Let's get rid of that real quick. Oh, that's not good. 1 second. All right, the cassette got hungry. Very cool. Stuff happens, right? Doesn't seem to be. Oh, it's definitely in there though. All right, I'll have to clear this out just a little bit. Oh, it's all in the idler pulleys. Woo! That's, I guess, one thing with e-bikes, that motor, you don't really feel that extra resistance right away. So, yeah, let's clear that out to the best of our ability. I don't even know when I smoked that branch. All right. Cool. All right, I'm happy with that. Moving on. All right, so we just talked about the shock. Guess moving down the line. Rear brake, same stories up front. DB8 mineral oil special with 200 millimeter sizing. And then I believe it's was it a 12-speed cassette in the back. Notice it's got plenty of range, but also you have that electric torque hooking it up on that front too, so you could be in a higher gear than you normally might find yourself on. Well, yeah, that's about it that I can think of. Seat's pretty comfy, bike rips, and yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys on the downhill.